A good Erev Shabbos, everybody. I welcome you to our Zoom pre-Shabbos sermon. Vayidaba dinei Moshe Leimer, daber alarm v'banav leimer, keisev orachos b'nei Yisrael amar lahem. Yivarechecha adinoi v'yishmerecha, yoyer adinoi pana v'elecha v'chunecha, yis adinoi pana v'elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. V'samoy shemi al b'nei Yisrael v'ani avorachem. I see that Wendy Levinson is on. I want to wish Wendy a refuah shalema. She had the eye surgery yesterday. I hope you're recovering well. You should have a speedy and complete recovery. We created a website for all the high holiday information. The high holidays are coming rather quickly this year. It's on Labor Day weekend. The Monday of Labor Day is Erev Rosh Hashanah. So if you go to chabadconejo.com/HH, which stands for High Holidays 2021. All the information you need about the upcoming year High Holidays. We will be back at the Sheraton Hotel for both Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur services. And if you'd like to stay at the hotel for Yom Kippur, please do make your room reservations soon because they will sell out rather quickly. This week's portion is the portion of Eikev. And the portion of Eikev, Moshe really begins to get into the understanding of us being a chosen people. And he begins to give us more of the history of what took place over the 40 years and what God expects of us. It's a very powerful portion for those that have been part of our Wednesday afternoon study group that we've had going on during the year. We took a little break during the summer. We have been the entire year studying this week's Torah portion, the portion of Eikev. But I'd like to do something different today, something that I don't believe I've ever really done in the past. I saw a post today on Facebook that I think was more important than any sermon that I had prepared. I'll be giving a sermon on the portion of Eikev tomorrow, live in person in Shul, for those that would like to join. But for today, I would actually like to read verbatim this post that I saw on Facebook and give credit to the author. It was written by a colleague of mine, Rabbi Eli Friedman from Calabasas. And I'm going to read to you exactly what he wrote because I think it's such a powerful message. And many of the people I've had conversations with over the past weeks have been bringing up this particular subject that I have until now not addressed at all. So I'll read it to you, and I think you'll appreciate it. He writes, again, this is from Rabbi Eli Friedman of Chabad of Calabasas. When my grandfather, he's referring to the father of Rabbi Joshua Gordon, was Rabbi Eli Friedman's grandfather. When my grandfather had his draft meeting in the 1940s, the interviewing officer took one look at this serious-looking, suit-wearing, bearded teenager sporting a Dick Tracy hat and immediately set about ascertaining the boy's sanity. Boy, do you date? No. Do you go to the movies? No. The officer scribbled furiously in the notes. What are you writing about me, my grandfather asked. I'm describing you as crazy. Crazy, but not dangerous. And for the rest of his life, my grandfather would laugh. Don't worry, I'm crazy, but not dangerous. Someone said something on TV recently about the Hasidic Jewish community. And I go off on my own over here. It seems that Netflix seems to have its fascination with Orthodox Jewry. And they can't keep getting enough of shows that they can put to mock Orthodox Jewry. It seems like Orthodox Jewry and Mormonism is the latest target of Netflix. That's my own commentary. And this is what Rabbi Friedman is addressing. Something less than complimentary. Something about backwardness and the need for progressiveness. In response, there has been a tidal wave of pushback with people from the community protesting the stereotyping and describing the fulfillment and happiness they feel from living in the Hasidic community. But along with the pride and joy, there is a shade of defensiveness, an effort to prove how normal we are. You might think we're backwards, but we're not. Whether it's a medical degree or a musical skill or skateboarding, people from the Hasidic community are proving their normalcy to their detractors. Defensiveness is never good. If you are wrong, don't defend your mistakes. And if you're right, you have no need to get defensive. So instead of trying to prove how normal we are, let's be honest. We are not normal. We are crazy. Not dangerous, but crazy. And we couldn't be happier being our own kind of crazy. We find meaning in turning chickens in circles over our heads on the morning before Yom Kippur. We cover our kitchens in so much foil for Passover, one might think we're trying to go to space. We don't just build a sukkah, we eat full meal in it regardless of its rain, snow, or sleet. We don't just wrap tefillin, we put on 2 pairs just to be sure. And we're happy to pay $1,200 for a pair of tefillin and $100 for a single mezuzah. But they can be gotten for much cheaper, yes, but perhaps you forgot. We're crazy. Many of us think the periodic table is what you take out when extra guests show up for Shabbat. Our children couldn't name the major TV networks and wouldn't know a Kardashian from our Sarkeesian. A Hasidic man is perfectly content to have never had a girlfriend and had his first date at age 22, and for the express purpose of finding his wife. And a Hasidic woman is perfectly content to have a gaggle of children and no career other than a lifetime of trying to raise her boys and girls to care. Talk about a Lifetime Achievement Award. How many guys have rolled their eyes at me and seriously doubted those assertions? But that's because they forgot. We're crazy. I could go on and on, but the point is already clear. The Hasidics are crazy. And furthermore, they're proud of it. Because it's not so much about how crazy they are, but rather, what is it that's crazy, what it is that they're crazy about. Societal trends and sensibilities mean less, not because Hasidics are trying to be anti-establishment, but because Jewish means more. Yesterday was the yahrzeit of the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak Schneerson of righteous memory. This gentle, saintly man was murdered by the Soviets for being uncooperative in their rancid revolution. They sought to erase faith in God from the earth, and he wanted the opposite. Once in the early, very dangerous days of the Soviets, they announced a new upcoming census. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak overheard people in his congregation advising each other to avoid all kinds of trouble by identifying as no religion when asked. On the next Shabbat from the pulpit, he informed the community that denying one's Jewish identity is a cardinal sin. Shortly, he was summoned to the local Soviet authorities who demanded to know why he was encouraging religion when they were working so hard to do away with it. He replied, "Aren't you all about truth? I wanted to make sure my people wouldn't lie." They arrested him, exiled him, and eventually starved him to death. Now, why didn't he just go with the flow like all of the other rabbis of that time and place? Why did he stand up to them? Why put himself in mortal danger? Isn't that crazy? For that matter, why did Moses stand up to Pharaoh? Why did Queen Esther stand up to Haman? Why did Rabbi Akiva stand up to the mighty Roman Empire? Why did the Maccabees go to war against the world's mightiest military and not just assimilate like most of the Jews of their time? Why did the Jews repeatedly wage a lopsided war against all the Arabs instead of just moving to Colorado? Why did they fly to Entebbe and snatch back their fellow Jews when all of them could have gotten massacred? Why not just negotiate? Why did Daniel Pearl declare himself Jewish and get himself executed? Isn't it all crazy? Couldn't they all just be normal? Hasidic Jews shouldn't apologize to their fellow Jews for being crazy any more than the Jewish people should apologize to the world at large for being crazy. You see, it's not our place to be normal. It's our place to be crazy. Crazy about God, crazy about his Torah, crazy about his mitzvot. Where the rest of the world sees an ancient text, we crazies see a vibrant, euphoria-inducing love letter from God. While the world endlessly ponders the world's origins, we crazies party every single Friday night to celebrate that it was created by God. While the normal world puzzles over chronic unhappiness, the crazy Hasidic women joyfully enjoy their boisterous broads of crazy children. While the normal world rages over the outrages of harassment and unwanted closeness and scratches their collective heads trying to solve this chronic problem, crazy Hasidic women thank God, His Torah, and the modest, crazy Hasidic men for the fact that they've never, ever experienced any of it, ever, never. Not even an off-color joke. Isn't that crazy? You see, when God asked us to be a light unto the nations, did He mean simply that we should be the best doctors, the best songwriters, the best skateboarders, the best lawyers, gymnasts, and scientists? Nothing wrong with any of that. But is that the light God was asking for? He was asking that we be His light unto the nations, that we utilize our divine souls to reflect godly light to this world, that we love God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might. So really now, is there any way to be that and not be thought of as a little crazy? That Jews are crazy and Judaism is outdated is legit the oldest story in the world. It is surely the most unoriginal thought currently available. We're old. What else is new? We're crazy. New. So what's your point? If we'd be normal, we'd be extinct. 'Tis far better to be thought the craziest people around than not to be around altogether. It is high time that the critics of Hasidic life admit that they measure their own normalcy by the unbending, timeless lifestyle of those crazy Hasidics. So l'chaim, my fellow Jews, will never win the coveted Most Normal Nation award. So we might as well enjoy what we really are and what we're really good at, being Jewish. And if people think we're crazy, well, then we might as well all become Hasidics. No one enjoys life more than them. Wishing you all a crazy but not dangerous Shabbat. Rabbi Eli Friedman of Chabad of Calabasas. And I think it is so well put, is the focus on trying to find that which doesn't fit in and that which the world wants to criticize about an Orthodox life, an observant life, or a Hasidic life. The more you delve into it, the more you see the joy and the purpose and the mission and the focus on family and the focus on caring for one another and the focus on God that is found amongst the observant Jewish community. And so indeed, as we read the portion of Eikev, Moshe's promises to us, Moshe's urging us to remain true to being God's chosen people, let us strengthen our emunah, let us strengthen our faith, let us strengthen our practice. Let's not be intimidated by what the normal world is telling us how one should live our lifestyle. Have a wonderful Shabbos, everybody. I look forward, hopefully, to seeing you tomorrow. Shabbat morning services start at 10 o'clock. All the best to you.